Hi, my name is Johan. As you can probably hear from the accent, I'm not from around here originally. I actually grew up on a series of mining towns in South Africa, coal mines in fact. Probably not the world's most inspirational environment, but you know, I think you learn to be very resourceful when you grow up in environments like that. So I spent the first 25 or so years of my life over in South Africa. Started my working life as an electronic engineer, left South Africa in my 20s and went over to Taiwan, where I spent a few years working, starting another business, and then finally settled here in beautiful Australia in 2006. Well, I got started when I was in my early 20s. A friend and I had this idea for a business we want to start doing fingerprint access control systems. We just had this crazy idea that we wanted to replace all keys with fingerprint readers. So we thought we could take over the whole world. I was really fortunate that my family supported me in that. So we were working on that for a couple of years. Had a couple of really tough years before things finally started coming through. Forward on, when I left the fingerprint business, I went over to Taiwan and ended up starting another business over there, just recruiting Western teachers into Taiwan. Really simple business, nothing fancy. We pretty much just put up a website, put a few ads in, and sales started coming through. So it really wasn't anything super fancy. But again, it was an awesome experience to have started a business in a completely different country with a completely different, culture. Forward on again to 2012 when I started with Corporate to Freedom, which is what we're doing right now. I think for any entrepreneur, making your first sale is something that you'll almost never forget. There's an amazing feeling when you get that first order and, the first money coming in. It's a really intoxicating, sort of exhilarating feeling. So that was definitely, remember that when we got our first fingerprint access control order coming in through the fax machine, Raising the money was definitely a big highlight. We raised about $500,000 on a 3 mil valuation. When the first couple of $100,000 started hitting your bank account, that's another highlight again. And I guess with Corporate to Freedom, it's quite a unique business in that I get to work with all these amazing entrepreneurs, literally some of the best in Australia and in the world. And that to me is an amazing highlight. It's really good. It's just such an awesome experience to be meeting all these people with these incredible stories who have done all these things. And that to me is a massive highlight, is the fact that I get to work with these amazing people with Corporate Freedom. I started off following the corporate success sort of formula, of working hard, getting a good education, so I worked really hard. I did my engineering degree, I did a master's in artificial intelligence, I did an MBA, number 1 ranked in Australia. And yeah, there was definitely some benefits, and I was making good money, but it's not to me, that just wasn't success. I wasn't happy, I wasn't fulfilled. I just felt kind of trapped in a weird way. So to me, that wasn't success to me personally. So I actually spent some time getting real clarity on what success looks like to me and what I want to be happy and successful. And to me, success really comes down to two things. Two things. So the first one is freedom. Freedom is such an important thing. Freedom to do what you want when you want to do it. Freedom to think what you want to think, say what you want to say. Freedom to wear what you want to wear. If I was in the corporate world, I wouldn't be able to wear this. Freedom to work with who you want to work with. Freedom to do things that you actually feel are important to you, instead of being told what to do. Financial freedom is definitely a big part of freedom, because if you don't have financial freedom, you're always going to have someone that has the power over you because you need the money. So financial freedom is definitely a big part of freedom. The second part of success to me is doing something that's meaningful. being able to do something that's meaningful, and meaningful to me is something where you can have an impact on other people's lives, something where you can do something where actually make a real difference to people's lives. That to me is a big part of success. Even if I have a lot of money, but I'm not doing something that's meaningful to me, that wouldn't be success in my eyes. And that's probably part of the reason why I started Corporate Freedom, is because I want to help other people to experience that opportunity to be able to do something meaningful and have financial freedom at the same time. That's success to me. It's freedom and doing something that's meaningful and has an impact.